welcome to 30-Minute Reviews. I am Adam. Yesterday I mentioned a survey would be coming up for listeners to voice their opinions on topics. Well, that survey is now up. If you go to bit.ly/bostmrsurv, you can make your opinions known. We want as many people as possible so that way we can better tailor content to what people want. We have a few responses based on yesterday's episode of Beware of Spoilers about the best animated shorts that were nominated. Today, we're going to be doing the best live-action shorts a little later. But for right now, we're here to talk about that Pokemon Presents, which came out a little while ago. About an hour it dropped. Now, I'm also going to use this as a platform to rail against the concept of the insider, because I think this perfectly sums up why... I mean, look, if you call yourself a reputable news source, and you're not just chasing clicks and chasing revenue, you can't report on every single insider. You can't, because the thing is, a good amount of them are just fucking made up. Just totally fucking made up. And the thing is, too, is like, I went into this Pokemon Presents not reading anything about what was anticipated to be announced. Like, oh, insider says this, oh, insider says this. It's like, fuck you. Insiders were talking all week between the announcement of the Presents and today, saying that what it's going to be announcing is it's going to be a new game for, it's going to be new DLC for Legends Arceus. And I figured that was the case too, following the success of, what's that called? How successful Sword and Shield, Crown, Tundra, and Isle of Armor was. I would have assumed, like, oh, we're going to put out a new DLC for Legends Arceus. Now, there is a new free update, and maybe this game will get the treatment of, like, No Man's Sky, where it'll just get continual free updates with new story and new things like that. It's a possibility. I don't think it's likely, but I think it's a possibility. And people will talk about, oh, there's DLC coming, there's DLC coming, there's DLC coming. Well, no DLC was announced. There's a new update coming called the Daybreak Update, which is going to introduce, it looks like, swarms of alpha Pokemon, which is a cool idea. I dig it. But I think the bigger thing is the announcement of, what's it called? The announcement of, what's what I'm looking for here? Generation 9, which no one called. There was not a single person who claimed to be an insider who was like, okay, and by the way, they're announcing Gen 9 this week. So, get ready for that. Like, Generation 9 will be coming this week in an announcement. So you'll be able to, get ready, start speculating, all of that cool stuff. But no, that was not what happened. No one said that Gen 9 was being announced, and that they were going to have new starters, and it's going to be an entirely new generation with a new region and all of that. Like, that's a big thing, because that's a lot of development. And for people to be claiming that they're insiders and not know that Generation 9 is coming, that's a big fucking deal. And it says a lot about the veracity of these claims. And look, I have Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet. I'll buy them. I've never not bought a Pokemon game. Like, I'll buy it, I'll play it, it's, I'll have fun, it's awesome, but I'm not going to, I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm particularly impressed by the reveal trailer, which is kind of the same as every other reveal trailer we've had, in the last decade, dating back to X and Y, where it's like, here are the starters, here's a few cool shots from the game, here, like... And the games that come out in November. It's like, okay, cool. Give me something to get excited about. Give me something to do. It's like, oh, well, here are the starters. I'm not particularly impressed with the starters either. Maybe that's just something about me more than it does about, what's it called? Maybe it has more about me than it does about the quality of the game. But I'm looking at this and I'm like, I don't see the big, hype. Like, I don't see what the big deal with these starters are. They don't look particularly great. And the thing is, too, it's like, the amount of production that goes into creating the reveal trailer they did. It's not like when they revealed X and Y or Sword and Shield or anything like that. This had a live action component to it. A very strange homage, if you will, to All the President's Men. And I'm like, oh, this is definitely a choice. Look, do I think we'll ever get DLC for Legends Arceus? I don't think so. I think that if there was going to be DLC for Legends Arceus, that would take a considerable amount of dev time. I think we'll get these continual little updates during the duration of this game's life, but I don't think we'll get a full, what's it called? I don't think we'll get a full, what's what I'm looking for here? I don't think we'll get a full DLC update that will open the game up broadly in any major way. I mean, there'll be maybe minor story updates, you know how if you look at Sword and Shield, they have the wild area changes every once in a while, the wild area events. Yeah, we'll get stuff like that. But I don't think we're going to get these broad, additions or anything like that to make the game feel different in a meaningful way. Maybe just me being cynical. I mean, and there was new stuff for Pokemon, what's it called? For Pokemon Arena, or the MOBA game that I don't know if anyone actually plays it. Pokemon Masters EX. Cool. Like, I've never played Pokemon Masters, so I'm not 100% on board with that to be able to say how cool the additions are. Pokemon Go is getting the Alolan Pokemon, which is cool. I'm for it, that the idea of putting in the Alolan Pokemon into Pokemon Go. I'm surprised that they're starting it now, considering that they have not yet finished. I don't think they finished Gen 6 yet. I don't think all the Pokemon are in from Gen 6, and I don't think Kecleon's still not in the game. So yeah, I mean, there are a lot of issues here that aren't being, addressed, but you got that going. Like, if I'm going to announce something in a Pokemon Presents for Pokemon Go, I'm announcing something major, not, the Alolan Pokemon are coming on March 1st. Because I would want more. Me as a player, I would want more out of that announcement. And then Pokemon Coffee, whatever, is also making money. And I think part of the problem is, when I did my predictions, I said, maybe they'll announce a new Pokemon Ranger, or they'll announce a new a remaster of Pokemon Coliseum. I don't think they really have an incentive to do that, because they've found that these mobile games are generating more revenue than the others are. Like, back in the mid-2000s, if you go to Cerebee's website, you can look through the list of, on the left side they have all the games. That's where I usually get my Pokemon information, because he doesn't report on leaks. On the left side of the screen, you got a list of all the games, and with Gen 3, Gen 4, the market of spin-offs had kind of crescendoed, where they were putting Pokemon into any game they could. Pokemon Dash, Pokemon Trozy, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, Pokemon Ranger, Pokemon Coliseum, Pokemon, what was that one for the Wii? There was Pokemon Rumble for the Wii. That was pretty fun. Pokemon, there was that park game. There was, Box. There were so many games that were coming out for these consoles, and in these generations, that it feels like to put them out now probably would not behoove them in the same way it would have in the past. Look at Pokemon, I don't know how the sales were for Pokemon, Mystery Dungeon EX, or DX, which was a perfectly serviceable game. Beautiful art, very fun to play, just as fun as playing the original, and the original was a fucking blast. I don't think that Pokemon, what's it called? I don't think that game sold that well. I don't think Snap sold that well. Because if they did, they would have come out with more. And I understand the idea about why they don't do Pokemon Stadium or Battle, whatever that was, Battle Revolution because it's like, look, the idea of battling Pokemon on the big screen was a novelty when that came out, because you had the handhelds, and then when they put it onto the big screen, it was a big fucking deal. Now, it's on the big screen. Why do I need to have that? Like, you can see them in the same quality you would see them in that game. I understand why that's a thing. I completely understand that. And with the lack of DLC from Legends Arceus, it's telling me this is going to be a completely insular gaming experience, which is something that's kind of unique in a weird way, where we don't get these anymore. Where it's a game that's designed to be played, in this form for this time, and then after that, announced, after this game is run its course, it's not going to stick around forever. It's not going to be like, and granted, there are a lot of games that are like that. I know I say it's a rare thing, but for a AAA title, it's a rarity to not sit here and be like, oh, and here's 12 other DLCs. Here's a bunch of other stuff with other stuff you can do forever. Here's ways you can continue to give us money, and we can continue to have this game in the general, view of players. It's like, look at Sword and Shield. Sword and Shield is still getting raid updates where it'll change out the Pokemon. Like, that's still happening even into today. Like, they're still getting, they're still cycling the wild area raid dens. It's a truly interesting thing. And then we get into the speculation. What's going to be introduced in Gen 9? Are they going to introduce a new mechanic in the way they have in the past, where it's like every generation after Generation 6 has introduced a new gameplay mechanic, where Gen 6 had Mega Evolution, Gen 7 had Z-Moves, Gen 8 had Dynamax and Gigantamax. What's going to be the new thing in Gen 9? Me personally, I would be okay with them just bringing back, with them just bringing back Mega Evolution. Maybe give more love to Gen 3 in terms of giving, giving, what's the word I'm looking for here? Giving whatever the region's name is going to be forms. Maybe that. Because Gen 3 hasn't gotten a lot of love with that, and especially like Flagon. Flagon's gotten the shaft a lot lately. And you know what? Hang on. Golem got a Mega Evolution. I think Gengar got a Mega Evolution. Alakazam got a Mega Evolution. Machamp got a Gigantamax but didn't get. I don't know. I feel like there's room for addition. And I would like to see this get done properly. My hopes are not high, considering this game is coming out now. Like, this game is coming out this year. That was the big thing. It's like it is coming out late 2022, which is typically be November 2022, usually the week before Thanksgiving. That's going to be the big release date for Scarlet and Violet. And if it weren't for the fact that we had already had Gen 8 did England, I would have assumed this is going to be England, because when I think the word Scarlet, the first thing I think is, what's it called? What's what I'm looking for here? This is going to bother me now. What was the word A Study in Scarlet, the Sherlock Holmes book. I think another possibility is Scarlet and Violet are both on the same spectrum as Red and Blue. Maybe it's another Arceus-style game, but for Gen 1. That's a possibility, where it's a distant prequel to Gen 1, or it's a distant sequel to Gen 1. Either way works. And it would be... Well, I think both of them are on the spectrum a little farther away from Red and Blue towards the next color, where Blue going to, you go down the spectrum to Violet, Scarlet, you go down the spectrum from Red. I think we might be onto something there. I know that I, like, Babe Ruth called the shot last time and pointed out into left field and then struck out, but I'm gonna say that now. I have a feeling these games have something to do with Red and Blue, because Scarlet and Violet very close in color to red and blue. So it'll be interesting to see how those play out. We'll be keeping you posted as you would expect with these games, and we will be back with more stuff this coming as it happens this week. So until then, have a great rest of your week.